Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers out there in TV land, and welcome to another edition of Drug-Free Communities, the Grand Boulevard Coalition, which presents a Drug-Free Communities TV show. I'm your host, Bamani Obadele. I'm also the president of the advisory board of the Grand Boulevard Grand Boulevard Coalition Prevention, I should say. I'm thinking about GBPS, Grand Boulevard Prevention Services, which is another thing that I have on my mind, which is where I'm serving as a community organizer. But also, before we get started, I have a guest this evening, Miss Paige.
Hi.
Paige Penn, who is a senior at Perspectives High School in Bronzeville. And before we get into a conversation with Paige about young people and underage drinking and drugging, I just want to give a shout out to Krala. It's an organization in Southern Illinois, and the Krala Vistas program, where I've had the pleasure, the great pleasure to have served as a Vista leader under the leadership of Miss Marie Goff. So they do great work down there, even transcending, working with those of us here in the city to provide, volunteer services around education. I think I've been involved with some veteran project services as it relates to Vista. So I just want to, as a sidebar, give a shout out to them. And we're continuing to do that work educationally, which is what we're going to get into tonight, educating our young people about the effects of underage drinking and drugging. So again, shout out to Krala Vistas and all the Vistas in Chicago that are serving. Thank you for your service, and hope you have a great year of service in your prospective area. So, getting right into it, my guest again is Miss Paige Penn, who's a youth leader with the Grand Boulevard Coalition. The Grand Boulevard Coalition is made up of several community-based organizations in the Grand Boulevard community, focusing on underage drinking and drugging of young people. Some of our coalition members are the Institute for Positive Living, Reverend Coverson, Recovery 2000, Miss Izetta Walton, Greater Harvest Missionary Baptist Church, Pastor Eric Thomas there. Then we have Sinners for New Horizon, Miss Krista Hamilton, and the Bronzeville Community Clubhouse, Mr. John Cook, and our Board of Education representative is Mr. Lafayette Ford, and our great Alderman of the 3rd Ward, who's our local government representative, Alderman Pat Dow. So, a youth representative tonight is Miss Paige Penn. Paige, so how's it been?
Good.
Oh, it's been a long time. Last time I think you were with us, we were over on Green Street.
Yeah.
Now this is like more professional, like we're really on maybe 257. Now, no, this is really a great job being here. This is a live show, by the way. Again, brought to you by CAN TV, 312-738-1060, 312-738-1060. So, Paige, let's tell the listening audience some of the things you've been doing this summer. You're a senior now. The last time I think you were on, you were a sophomore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a couple of years ago. So tell the listeners some of the things you've been doing in the community.
Well, I had a summer job this summer. I've been working at Excess Tennis in Hyde Park, working as a day camp counselor. So that's been my summer job. And I also been in a pre-med program at Malcolm X, a 5-week pre-med program.
So does that mean that you want to be a doctor?
Yes.
Dr. Paige Penn, medical doctor.
Yes.
Oh, in any specific field?
Working with babies.
Babies, pediatrician.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. How about that? Well, listen, we definitely need more good doctors in the world. So you're a senior at Perspectives Charter School.
Yes.
Yeah? And so when we talk about this whole, first of all, let me just back up. I have to ask you this question because I'm kind of polling young people. So there was some controversy about the Buck Billiken parade. Did you hear anything about that?
How they shortened the time?
Yeah. So just as a young person, I want to know, what was your feeling?
Honestly, it really didn't matter to me.
Okay. Did you go?
No.
Was there a reason why you didn't go?
I think
Just
I was
putting you
doing
on the
something
spot.
else. I think I had other plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of polling young people because I know there's been some controversy, and I know the attendance was down, and noticeably, and I just want to know from you, did it really matter one way or the other?
No.
Okay, all right. So you heard it. That's one. All right, we'll have another young person on, but I'm getting mixed responses. But back into our more specific issues. So, Paige, being a young person and growing up in Grand Boulevard for the most part, and I know the last time we actually was 2 years ago. So, do you see an influx of your peers? I'm putting you on the spot again. Using either heavily drinking or smoking marijuana, and they call it loud, right? Okay, all right.
Yeah. I don't see. Well, I see big changes in both.
Okay.
The uses in both, to me, have increased, mostly due to popularity and how other teams bring it on towards other teams.
Okay.
So I have seen an increase in.
So you would think it would be by what, peer pressure?
Not so much as peer pressure, more as the popularity of the drug and the substance and how it's brought on in the community.
Oh, okay. So, and I know we talked about, walking down the street or walking past certain establishments. Since 2 years, I would say, since the past 2 years, have you seen an increase or decrease with the number of people, I guess, attempting to purchase alcohol for young people, or trying to push marijuana on you on the street?
I think a decrease,
okay.
And I would say a decrease due to the violence that's been happening. So
okay.
A lot of people don't really want to be at that place at the wrong time.
Okay.
So I think violence is one reason for the decrease, but
okay.
I haven't really seen much of that.
All right. How about just kind of socially, after school, walking away? What is your sense on the number of young people that are engaging, hanging around, maybe a block away from the school, just lighting up or something like that? Is that kind of commonplace?
Not really.
Okay.
Not on the average school day, but
okay.
maybe like if it was a Friday, because for my school we do get out early at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So maybe for a Friday, but not on the average school day.
Okay, all right. I think we got a caller. Caller, you on the air? Good evening, caller. Oh, we don't have a caller. All right, I thought we had a caller. All right, but you are welcome to call. 312-738-1060. 312-738-1060. My guest this evening on the Grand Boulevard Coalition Show is Miss Paige Penn, a senior at Perspectives. Is it just Perspectives? Because I know there's several Perspectives.
Yeah.
It's like a...
It's a long name. It's Perspective Charter School IIT Math and Science Academy.
Oh, wow. Math and science.
Yes.
So are y'all dissecting frogs and all that stuff in there, too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you're near the IIT campus, so it kind of makes sense. You're at 36th Street, right? So that kind of makes sense. That's a good thing. And you want to be a doctor. Yes. Have you decided on a college?
I have a list.
Oh,
but
okay.
I haven't really got like a mindset to it.
So are you going to go straight from high school right into...
Yes.
So, straight to college. You're going to take a year off?
No.
To go to Lollapalooza?
No.
Okay. All right. I was just throwing it out there. Listen. So I think, some of the young people who generally that I come across who are using, in many cases say that they smoke or get high for various of reasons. Maybe there's some things going on at home, the pressures of just being young, and if we have an opportunity, we'll get into that. But I hear they're flashing that we have a caller on the air. Caller, you on the air. Good evening.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I was here I talked on your show last week, and you had a great guest.
Oh, last week, Mr. Walter.
The Tuskegee guy. He let me know what was going on, But
well, he'll be on tonight at 7 o'clock, and I'll be his guest.
They're all good people, the guests that you get. You must know a lot of good people. But the thing is, about the weed and all of that stuff, I don't know where she's from, but where I'm from, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And why? Because you have a lot of homeless people now that will go get you the stuff, any stuff that you want. So we got to stop this homelessness, and maybe there will be a good start. It's not, it's not the answer.
Yeah, well, listen, I appreciate your call, Colin. Thank you for your call. Well, and let me just say this to you. I do realize that homelessness is a problem, and in fact, for the first time in a long time. This morning I was out early, and and not to, just in downtown. I was around 12th Street at around 5ish this morning in Michigan, and I saw a guy sleeping out on the sidewalk, something I hadn't seen in a long time. It was, I just haven't seen that in Chicago because they've got rid of Skid Row, and generally they kind of push people under Wacker Drive. But for the first time in a long time, I saw a gentleman sleeping out on the sidewalk. So I agree with you that homelessness is something we should deal with. I'm not certain that the homeless people are contributing to the necessarily violence and the issues that are happening in our community as it relates to young people. And you hit on that. Paige, why don't you tell us briefly before we go to a break to play one of the PSAs, what are some of the pressures of being young, just being a young person today?
Well, one of the pressures will probably be not living to the stereotypes and being an example to why people think those stereotypes.
Okay.
So, for example, finishing high school on time and going to college. Not a lot of kids go to college or even plan to go to college. I actually know some people who go to my school who are not planning to go to college.
And they're seniors?
Yeah. And
they just decided that they don't want to go to college?
Yeah. Or some people, if they don't want to go to college, they turn towards the Army. Okay. But they don't have a good reason. They just feel like I go to the Army instead of going to college. So,
well, maybe they needed a little more discipline or something. Hey, listen, being in colleges, my daughter's off. In fact, she's going ahead of me. She's going to Agnes Scott. And going away to school, you got to be disciplined. I mean, especially when your parents got to cough up some money on the side and you don't have a full ride scholarship. So discipline is necessary. So I'm not necessarily kick against the military, but I do believe that you should plan out your future, whether it's going to be college, going to trade school, joining the military. I'm not against any of that. I think that a lot of our people need discipline and structure, but, that's me talking as a disciplinarian, as a father. But, Paige, we have another guest, and I want to get to the PSA. I thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Hopefully we will have you again before you graduate as a senior.
Yeah.
And we look forward to doing a lot of great work with you and some of the young people. We haven't forgot about your idea about that youth cafe or, a space for young people to show them many of their gifts and talents in Grand Boulevard. So we'll be working on that, and caller will be right to you. But for a moment, we're going to go to the screen and play a PSA by some of your young colleagues, Paige. All right, so let it rip. Here we go, and there we are.
Over the volume. Ready to stop? You're right there. We'll do it next week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. One thing about coming to the new CAN TV, things are a lot different. We don't have... I guess I could say I'm kind of a control freak in a sense, and we don't necessarily have the necessary controls that normally we used to have. In fact, anyway, the studio is nice, great. It's just I think I got to get used to learning how to work the new system. And we actually have a computer right beside us. But I have another fine gentleman that just joined us in this next segment, Mr. Nazir Richards.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
14 years old.
14 years old. What school do you go to?
Legal Prep Charter Academy.
Leo Prep Charter Academy. All right, Nazir, so you're 14. And we just had an 18-year-old on Miss Paige. And I think we had a caller before we went to the PSA. If the caller is still there, caller, you on the air? Okay, I guess the caller may have gotten a little impatient and left us. Nazir, so as I was talking to Paige, let me ask you this question. You're at 14. Do you know any of your friends that get high?
I mean,
Or people, young people, your age, get high?
no, not that I know of.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. That's good. What about drinking?
No.
Oh, that's even better. That's good. So as I asked Paige, and that's and really, listen, you don't want to, you're not pulling my leg here, are you? Okay, all right. Oh, all right. So let's deal with some issues of talk about violence and some other things that are going on in the community, right? So you're a freshman. You're going to be a freshman. So that means you just graduated 8th grade, yeah? All right. So what do you think about the violence and young people? Are you a little nervous, Leo? You're on TV, man. You can calm down. It's going to be all right. Leo's a little nervous, so be patient with him. This is a live show, 312-738-1060, the Grand Boulevard Coalition. Our guest is Mr. Nazir Richards, who's a freshman at Leo Charter Prep. Is that correct?
Legal Charter Academy.
Leo Charter Academy. All right, so we were talking, Nazir. What are like some of the issues concerning young people as it relates to violence, right?
Well, it's gun violence, peer pressure. They want to be cool. They see their friends doing it, so they want to do it too. Which I think you shouldn't follow behind people that's doing the wrong thing.
All right. And so we had a caller last week as we were talking about underage drinking and drugging, Leo. And we had a caller that called in and said that, he thought that parents should teach their children how to smoke and drink so that it could be appropriate and so that they don't abuse it. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think no parent should teach their child to do drinking or marijuana. It's not good for anybody to do.
Okay. All right. Well, that was my thought too, Nazir, but I couldn't convince our caller either way. But I see we got another call. Caller, you on the air? Hello, caller.
It is. When your last guest was talking about a lot of teens, especially of color, may not be going to college, there's a reason behind it. If you look at the facts and the data, especially students of color, one of the reasons may be a deterrent. In terms of going to college, it is like an investment. And a lot of students of color, they're not getting the same type of return of their investment as maybe their Caucasian counterpart. Especially a black woman, she's getting less money than a white woman. And that's a lot of times they may not want to go to college. We got to look at the student loans and it take a while to even get somewhat of a return on your investment.
Well, I can tell you this as a parent that has a daughter that's going into her freshman year. It is quite costly, and she's away. And even though she got a scholarship, but we're on the hook for her mother and I for the room and board, and it's $1,800 a month. Can you imagine that? For a room and board, and they're not including books, which is another cost. But I hear you. Listen. I think that children should do something, right? That's the way I was raised. You had to do something. You're either going to go to school, you're going to get a job, you're going to learn a trade, or I couldn't stay in the house. So one of those things had to happen. So for those young people who have the test scores, who have the means, listen. School is available to anyone who wants to go. It just depends on what school. And look at the city colleges are giving you a free ride if you have a C average. So it's really no excuse today for a person not going to college. But thank you for your call. And we have another caller, Nazir. And my guest is Nazir Richards. And our last guest was Miss Paige Penn. And we'll have her back again. Caller, you on the air.
Yes, my name is William, and I was calling to ask the gentleman, now that he's a freshman in high school, does he feel any pressure to use drugs or alcohol?
No, I don't.
And how does he combat it?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I don't feel any pressure. I know it's wrong to do drugs, so if anybody tries to tell me it's cool to do it, I still say no. Because I know what to do and I know the right thing to do.
Yeah. Well, where did you learn that from?
I learned from my parents.
Okay.
They taught me never to do drugs is bad. You walk outside, you see people who's been on drugs, and you see what they're going through now.
Okay. All right. So, hey, caller, thank you for your call. Appreciate you. And so, but back to going to the last call, the previous caller. What do you think about young people not? Do you plan on going to college?
Yes.
Is this a thought? Okay. Do you have friends who say that they may not be interested in going to college?
I had one friend who said they didn't want to go to college. They think it's not cool. And I'm like,
Oh, really?
no, you should always go for education.
Right. Yeah. I would think so. I mean, that would be my thought anyway. But educate yourself some way or somehow. But I don't think that you don't feel like it's pressure being applied to you to go, do you?
No.
Okay. As I know you said you don't take well to peer pressure, so you've learned from your parents that drugs and drinking was wrong. So and then we answered that question regarding to the other gentleman whose parent, the guy our caller, I'm sorry, who thought that it was okay to drink or smoke with his children so they can be prepared. And you were saying before we played the PSA that you didn't think that was a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea to teach a child to do drugs or drink.
Okay. All right. So what are some of your future plans, Mr. Nazir? So tell us a little bit about what you plan on dedicating your time. I know you got some service learning hours that you got to do and volunteer stuff. So tell us some of your hobbies, things that you like to do, and what do you plan on spending your formative days in doing?
Well, I like volunteering and helping like elderly people. Like I help them take their groceries in. Other than that, when I'm not doing that, I'm out with my friends or I'm in the house like playing my video game or something.
Oh, you're into video games, huh? Okay. And you hang out with your friends, and none of your friends have the discussion of drinking marijuana has ever come up with your friends?
No.
Oh, that's a good thing. I tell and I'm proud of you, and you come from great stock, Miss our super phone technician, Mrs. Aviance Richards is your mom, and so you got good good stock that you come from, and so that's a good thing, and hopefully that you can take that into Leo, man, and be a leader to other young people in the community as it relates to dealing with this whole campaign around the issue of underage drinking and drugging, and so listen, ladies and gentlemen, our guest has been two guests, wonderful young people. First, Mrs. Penn, Paige Penn, and Nazir Richards, two young people of our future. And we're hoping that you would get involved. So if you want to get involved, want more information about the Grand Boulevard Coalition, you can call me at 312-420-5582, 312-420-5582. Again, I've been your host, Bamani Obadele. I am the president of the advisory board of the Grand Boulevard Coalition. Ms. Laurel Dudley is our coordinator. And our members are again the Institute for Positive Living, Reverend Maurice Coverson, Izetta Walton with Recovery 2000, John Cook with the Bronzeville Community Clubhouse, Ms. Krista Hamilton, at Centers for New Horizon, and our Lafayette Ford, our CPS representative, and our local government official is the Alderman of the 3rd Ward, Alderman Pat Dow. This has been another great, informative show. Again, I thank Mr. Nazir Richards for being our guest today, and Ms. Paige Penn, who's the daughter of our parent coordinator, Mr. William Penn. I thank you guys for watching. Join me this evening. I'll be back on at 7 o'clock with our brother, the Right Reverend Walter, and I believe as Fathers Who Care, Walter Jones, or Minister Jones. All right, so until now, next week, God bless. Peace.